For some grandparents, time with family is cherished, and now technology is giving them the chance to create memories with their grandkids more and more, even if they're not face to face.
That's right. Alison Hillhouse is a youth and cultural researcher and the author of a new book, Virtual Grandmother. There she is right there. And she joins us now from New York. Alison, great to have you here. Your book is a how-to guide for grandparents connecting to their families through technology. So tell us more.
Thank you so much for having me. So Virtual Grandma is a guide on how to video chat or FaceTime with little ones up to age 5. And it's for grandparents, aunts, uncles, traveling parents, divorced parents who live apart, military parents, anyone who wants to connect with little ones. And the book is divided into 20 different ideas, which I call sparks because they're meant to spark your relationship from away.
Is it true that a virtual cooking lesson from your mother was the inspiration behind the book?
Yes, my mother, who is known as Gaga to my 4-year-old Charlie, is amazing at FaceTime, and she was always coming up with really creative ideas. I often call her when I am just like totally exhausted and need help entertaining my 4-year-old. And she had this idea for doing a virtual cooking lesson, and I got all the ingredients on our side, and she got the same ingredients, and she actually taught my son Charlie how to make muffins over FaceTime. Wow. And they made them, and they both had chef hats on, and it was so much fun. And I was telling your grandma about this on the playground, and she was like, I could never come up with an idea like that. So I thought, you know, this might be a good idea to write a book about these ideas. And so I pulled ideas from Gaga as well as crowdsourced from around the country.
Well, Lady Gaga's doing such great work out there at the moment. But, you know, each chapter has different activities, different sparks, as you say, Alison, based on age. So can you take us through some of them?
Sure. So starting with babies, we really look to incorporate a lot of music with babies, which is very basic, but I've talked to a grandma who has a special song she sings to her granddaughter every time she calls, or other grandparents who use instruments like maracas. During this time, it's a great time to introduce FaceTime over dinner and over breakfast. And you can prop up the iPad at the head of the table, and grandma can join for a meal. And as the babies get older and they're toddlers, they like to actually feed grandparents through the screen, which is kind of fun. Once they get to be toddlers, it's definitely a lot more challenging to keep them engaged. And I always suggest creating a lot of movement. One thing in particular is what I call house tours. Take your phone around to look at the hammock in the yard, the car in the garage, if you've got any toys, the dog, anything of interest that a toddler would like. You can also do show and tell at that age. You can do puppet shows. When they become a preschooler, at this point, they're really engaging more in imaginative play. And all of this stuff translates over FaceTime. Like, you can actually have a tea party over FaceTime, or you can work with them on conversation and letters and actually be a virtual teacher as well.
So, Alison, how can families work out which virtual activities are best for them?
Well, I think a lot of it is trial and error, and as you get to know your little one, you'll find out what does and doesn't work. It's all about experimentation. All of the ideas in my book you can customize based on what your little one's interests are. And I think I always tell people, don't be afraid to fail. There's no such thing as failure with a 5-year-old. You know, if they're not interested, try it again in 6 months, or just try something else. You know, always think about how you can leverage their passion points in the conversation. And I also encourage people to get a lot of props from like the dollar store, and just, you know, continue to introduce new things into your conversation to keep it fun.
Alison, sounds like a lot of fun. The book is called Virtual Grandma, is out now to order on Amazon. She does not do diapers.